Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Israel. A powerful winter storm system is dumping heavy rain and snow across a large part of the country. The icy weather is already blamed for at least 8 deaths, and it's now moving east, wreaking havoc for Thanksgiving travelers. It's a pre-Thanksgiving wave of Arctic cold, and it's wreaking havoc on the roads.
It's slick. I mean, there's a lot of snow on top of ice that's just being, packed on. The more cars are riding over it.
And our car was freezing and we were sliding all over the road, and it was pretty intense.
One accident in Oklahoma City was even videotaped on a dash cam. Watch as this SUV slides off the road and tumbles over. Thankfully, no one was hurt in that incident, but other accidents have turned deadly, as snow-covered icy roads have caused hundreds of wrecks. Areas in Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico have seen up to 4 inches of snow. And in the mountains of Nevada, a massive 2 feet of snow left most residents without power.
Have lost it 3 times a day on average, and it's been out since 5 this morning.
Now the storm moves through the Southwest. Hundreds of flights were canceled at Dallas-Fort Worth as crews scrambled to de-ice the planes. Meteorologists expect the storm system to affect even more travel as it heads south and east, threatening plans for Tuesday and Wednesday as people hit the roads and airports for some of the busiest travel days of the year. AAA estimates more than 43 million Americans will travel 50 or more miles from home Wednesday through December 1st. Iran's leaders are celebrating the new nuclear deal handed to them by the U.S. and 5 other world powers this weekend. President Obama called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and discussed the agreement. But as Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem, Israeli leaders feel the deal is a dangerous one.
The White House briefed reporters on the call between President Obama and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Netanyahu said repeatedly the deal is a dangerous one for the Jewish state.
Israel has many friends and allies, but when they're mistaken, it's my obligation to speak out clearly and openly and say so. It's my solemn responsibility to protect and defend the one and only Jewish state.
Netanyahu says that Israel is not obligated to the deal, and Israeli leaders are emphasizing that all options, including a military one, are on the table. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Kerry must convince his former Senate colleagues this is a good deal.
I believe Congress will recognize that this deal actually has a great deal of benefit in it.
Some remain unconvinced.
Nothing in this deal requires the destruction of any centrifuges. They're going to continue to be able to replace centrifuges that become inoperable. And I just don't see this movement in the direction of preventing Iran from developing a nuclear weapon at all.
Already there's a disagreement over one of the agreement's key provisions, the right to enrich uranium.
There is no right to enrich. We do not recognize a right to enrich. It is clear in the NPT, in the Non-Proliferation Treaty, it's very, very clear that there is no right to enrich.
But Iran's president sees the right to enrich uranium as the keystone to this agreement and says the world powers have recognized Iran's nuclear rights.
No matter what interpretations are given, Iran's right to enrichment has been recognized in the text of the agreement. For that reason, I announce to the Iranian nation that Iran's enrichment activity will continue as before.
This is an interim agreement, but Iran's foreign minister says negotiations for the next phase could begin in just a few weeks. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
In the U.S., lawmakers from both parties say they're skeptical that Iran will stick to a new nuclear deal. They want Congress to get ready to beef up economic penalties against Tehran if the accord falls apart. And Canada is also concerned with the deal. Canada's foreign minister says Iran has not proven it can be trusted yet, so Canada will keep its sanctions in place. The U.S. deal with Iran over its nuclear program should have included the release of persecuted Christians. That's the word from the American Center for Law and Justice. The ACLJ says the U.S. should have required Iran to release imprisoned American pastors Saeed Abedini and other Americans. ACLJ Chief Counsel Jay Sekulow says President Obama and Secretary of State John Kerry turned their back on their fellow Americans. Abedini has spent more than a year in an Iranian prison because of his Christian faith. A federal judge struck down a 1951 law that gives members of the clergy tax-free housing allowances. The Freedom from Religion Foundation filed suit saying the law unconstitutionally establishes religion. The ruling says the exemption provides a benefit to religious persons and no one else, even though doing so is not necessary to alleviate a special burden on religious exercise. The Southern Baptist Convention disagreed. It said that without the housing allowance, small congregations and without parsonages might not be able to afford ministers. Well, the Air Force Academy has taken more steps to comply with the demands of atheists. CBN News already reported atheists forced the academy to back away from using the phrase, "So help me God," at the end of the cadet honor oath. Now comes word that the Air Force is not just giving cadets the chance to opt out. Officials have even removed the phrase from handbooks and have pulled down a poster that included God. Earlier this week, 28 congressmen and women wrote to the superintendent of the Air Force Academy to tell him that pulling God from the handbook violates the law. The city of Portland, Oregon, has been ordered to pay $19,000 to a city employee over religious harassment. Kelly Marie Griffin says her co-worker at the Mount Tabor maintenance yard complained when she said, "God bless you," after a sneeze. Griffin says the co-worker also said, quote, "I'm tired of your Christian attitude." The co-worker also mocked her for praying, calling God a figment of her imagination. After 4 years of harassment, Griffin filed suit. A federal jury ruled in her favor, saying her workplace was hostile to her religion. Well, it is a form of modern-day slavery, and the victims come from every background and race. One man has made it his mission to bring awareness to the fact that it's happening right here in the United States. Caitlin Burke has the story.
Human trafficking is one of the most heinous crimes in the U.S. today. Its growth is staggering, and most Americans don't even know it could be going on right in their own hometown.
It's not something that's coming from Thailand or Cambodia or anywhere else. It's a significant problem here in our own country.
Andrew Wallace admits he too had no idea of that reality until one day he read an article.
It was about a girl who'd had a dream to be a model, and she was instead tricked into thinking she was going to be a model and then sucked into the trafficking world. And that, I just had some anger inside.
Enlisting the help of his brother, Matthew Wallace, and longtime friend Jesse Cummins, the trio set out to fight this evil. Their mission, winning love for the unloved.
The guys say they wanted to create conversation about trafficking. And what better way to do that than riding across the country on bikes?
Bikes generate curiosity, you know, and it also establishes at least a small amount of credibility with people. They're like, what? You went how far? And, oh, you're doing it for human trafficking? And
you must really care.
Yeah, you must really care about this. And so it creates a platform.
They started at the most northwestern point of the country and pedaled 4,997 miles to Virginia Beach, Virginia. We met up with them as they celebrated the end of their journey. Along the way, they stopped to speak with anti-trafficking organizations, and in some cases, victims.
What I've learned is slavery is a community issue, and it's an issue that's uniquely poised to be solved by Christians, because it's hard to fight darkness with darkness, and we carry the light.
They shared their vision with the co-founders of the Virginia Beach Justice Initiative.
They reached across the nation and are reaching all kinds of people. They're younger guys. Having 3 young guys stand up for this cause is really wonderful. Having men in this cause is wonderful.
We really do feel like he's raising up his people in this hour to hear the cry, effectively the people in Israel. And he's saying, will you be that Moses for me to go into that venue I call you to help bring them out?
Andrew, Jesse, and Matthew are producing a documentary of their journey, one they hope will open eyes and hearts to human trafficking.
Hopefully to inspire individuals to say, yeah, this is a huge problem, and 27 million people in slavery is really ridiculous and dark. But if I stand up and do just the smallest thing, it can end.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Coming up, Christians and Jews join forces to help typhoon victims in the Philippines.
Hi, my name is Breda. I'm just your typical 9-year-old. I love singing, dancing, reading, discovering the simple truth. My grandpa says you're never too young or old to learn the value of a dog. He taught me the true value of this paper dog. You see this little gold coin? It says $1 on it. But guess what? That was a long time ago. Today, this gold dollar is worth over 100 paper dollars. This paper dollar is now only worth 1 penny compared to America's former money, the gold dollar. My grandpa says the only money worth saving today is real money, gold or silver coins. He's pretty smart. How our paper dollars lost their value, he says. It's all explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. It's easy and fun to read. If you call the number on the screen, I will send you a copy totally free. Next time, I will explain the simple truth about money.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Inside every child is a hero, a leader, a friend to others, someone who helps out, who does the right thing, who dreams of what they can be. But they still need our help.
What should I do? What should I say? How should I feel?
That's where Superbook comes in. It provides moral and spiritual truths through situations children can relate to, teaching God's Word to the children you love. Join the Superbook DVD Club and receive Superbook's newest episodes as they're available, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25. Get Superbook today and watch the miracles happen.
Operation Blessing spent the weekend helping victims of the tornadoes that ravaged Washington, Illinois more than a week ago. On Saturday, 121 volunteers showed up to help in the hardest hit areas. Many of them braved temperatures below 20 degrees, joining forces with local residents on their recovery efforts. One OB volunteer helped a resident find a priceless family heirloom.
We've been looking for it since Sunday, since this whole thing started. I had a couple things that I really was looking for, and that was one of them. And I said, this is what we're looking for, and we prayed, please help us find this thing in particular. And literally 10 minutes later, Emily brought over this case and said, is this what you're looking for? And it was absolutely what we were looking for.
And that is one of many stories of hope. Many locals say they've been blessed and strengthened because OB volunteers have cared for their losses as if they were their own. Relief agencies across the world are responding to help victims of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, including a partnership of Christians and Jews. John Wagi reports on a new team effort between CBN Disaster Relief and an Israeli group helping Filipinos deal with the trauma.
A 4-member team from the Israel Relief Coalition left Tel Aviv this week to assess the ongoing needs in the Philippines.
Our first delegation was for rescue and emergency medical, and they came back, and now we want to create a program, a plan for the long term.
This coalition includes more than 15 humanitarian and other Israeli organizations. CBN's Operation Blessing will help with logistics and more.
We want to cooperate in the field with the mayor, the local mayor, and local partner, with the government, and with Operation Blessing and CBN, to make the assessment together hand by hand and to plan the program for the long term and to see which one take what part.
That will include programs to help people get their lives back on track.
A psychosocial program means that we are going to work with the parents, the educators, all the people who sort of sew together the fabric of society.
Trauma expert Dr. Roni Berger says Israelis bring a lot of experience to the table.
You want to mobilize the person and turn him from being a helpless individual into being proactive. You can't take away the pain of losing someone or losing a house. I mean, that's a significant thing. But you can see the future and you can develop hope.
Berger says Israelis have a special connection with the Philippines.
Most of the elderly in Israel are cared by Filipinos, women, as my mother. So I think we're indebted to them on some level.
There will also be sacrifice, as Dr. Sharon Shaul must leave her 4 children in order to serve for several weeks.
We take some medicines, antibiotics, some vaccinations, this is the basic. But the main thing that we are taking is us. I mean, we intend to give what we can. We have our knowledge and our goodwill, actually.
John Wagi, CBN News.
Up next, motorcycle mayhem unleashed on our streets. Watch how reckless bikers are wreaking havoc on highways and meet a man on a mission to stop this deadly trend.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
A gang of stunt bikers in full throttle road rage terrorizing a motorist not on the highway, but on the streets of New York. Video of this incident made national news, but this was not an isolated incident. Now one church is fighting this deadly trend by offering bikers a new way of life. The video involving bikers and the SUV, recorded from a biker's helmet, went viral after it was posted online. Authorities say the cyclist chased the driver of the SUV after he allegedly bumped one of the riders during a biker rally in Manhattan on September 29th. Surrounded by bikers, the driver called 911, telling police he feared for his life. He then drove off, running over bikers and critically injuring one. The cyclists are part of a group called Hollywood Stunts, sports bike enthusiasts who perform tricks and stunts on the road. Bike shops say they've seen a spike in the sale of sports bikes, also known as crotch rockets, which riders modify to perform their acts.
Tell me about some of the bikes that, can be seen in the video that the guys in New York in that biker incident were riding.
Most of them were on sports bikes. There were some other ones like supermotos and stuff like that, but most of them were sports bikes like these, ZX14s, Boosas, Gixxers, R1s. So that's what most of them were riding.
Now, I understand that these bikes can go pretty fast. What are we talking speed-wise?
Up to 200 miles an hour.
That, say police, is a major problem. Reckless bikers out of control, putting everyone on the road in harm's way.
We hear about motorcycles traveling at a high rate of speed, slowing down in front of cars so they can perform stunts. That's all dangerous stuff.
This video posted on YouTube shows a biker avoiding a police blockade after performing a wheelie for 3 miles. Police are often unable to pursue the riders because the motorcycles can outmaneuver police vehicles. Drivers are often intimidated by their presence on the road.
If you're in a car and you're riding down the road and you see a group of them, first thing you think is, oh man, that's a group that I want to be around, because they got that negative, connotation about them and stuff, that they're a bunch of bad boys and, that they're doing bad things out there, and some of them are.
This pastor in Chesapeake, Virginia is on a mission to help change that image through his ministry called Freedom Biker Church.
God has brought us here to show people that, hey, you can still ride a motorcycle and you can love the Lord and you can follow him and stuff.
Rawls has been riding motorcycles since he was 9 and found Jesus when he was in his 30s. He uses the motorcycle as a vehicle for sharing the love of God.
We're a biker church, so hey, we like the freedom of the open road and riding out there with the wind in our face and stuff. So hey, let's paint a road right down the center aisle of the church and stuff. When people come, they come that road to freedom when they come up to the front of the church, whether it's for prayer that morning or whether they're coming up to give their heart and soul to Christ.
A big change from the rowdy night spot the building once was.
I used to party in here. It's a big old cowboy bar when I went in here. A lot of fights in here, it was pretty crazy.
We're like, hey man, this is a place that Satan had a hold of for quite some time. A lot of criminal activity. And God's like, no, hey, it's time to come in and take this building back and this property here and everything, and I'm going to take this place and that's going to be a house of God, and we're going to reach people for Christ and stuff, and I'm going to start changing lives around.
Outreach to unchurched bikers has been the key to the church's tremendous growth and success since its start earlier this year.
Members of Freedom Biker Church are a brotherhood of bikers passionate about the open road and about sharing the good news of Jesus Christ.
We operate the same way as a motorcycle club. Only thing, we do it for God, because, bikers still need to be saved. So somebody needs to go out there and witness to them, and they'll receive us more than people with three-piece suit.
We'll show up someplace, and people, again, whether they're bikers or non-bikers, will look at us, and before you know it, they're sitting at the table with us talking, and it's a pretty awesome thing.
Awesome and life-changing.
Marriages and stuff has been restored. I mean, we got a gentleman here that came here one Sunday morning, and this was going to be his last Sunday at church. And this was going to be his last Sunday on this earth and stuff. He'd already made a decision that he's going to come to church one more time. And then after that, he was heading home and he was going to commit suicide. He gave his heart and soul to Christ, and God's turned him around and changed him and stuff. And so he's just out there doing great things for God now.
Timothy Samalek has a similar story.
When I came to the church, I was going through a lot of personal issues in my life, and since I've come here, I've been saved and baptized. If it wasn't for the church and having God in my life, I don't know if I would have made it through it.
Meanwhile, many point out that the actions of the bikers in the New York incident don't reflect the character of all bikers.
Most motorcycle operators are law-abiding citizens. It's the 1% that we try to keep under control.
We just get together and we ride. We're not a bike club. We're a group.
Or a gang.
No, we're not a gang or anything like that. Just a bunch of guys that get together and ride and have a good time.
Pastor Rawls says Freedom Biker Church isn't just for bikers. And bikers say while the atmosphere is what draws them, it's the church's message that keeps them riding for good.
Grace, music is unpredictable.
I know I have what it takes.
The Dove Foundation raves. Grace Unplugged is remarkable and inspiring.
This is not about the music. It's about everything else that goes with it.
Dad, were you watching me?
A moving and meaningful film.
This book, his words shook me. It was like my whole world.
That parents and teens should see together, says Focus on the Family.
What are you going to do? You're going to drag her back home?
Yeah, I might. I think maybe you're fighting God. Just stop running.
Grace Unplugged, rated PG, now playing.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Grace, music is unpredictable.
I know I have what it takes.
The Dove Foundation raves. Grace Unplugged is remarkable and inspiring.
This is not about the music. It's about everything else that goes with it.
Dad, were you watching me?
A moving and meaningful film.
This book, his words shook me. It was like my whole world.
That parents and teens should see together, says Focus on the Family.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna drag her back home?
Yeah, I might. I think maybe you're fighting God. Just stop running.
Grace Unplugged, rated PG, now playing.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
The Mediterranean diet could help you live a longer, healthier life. Researchers from Harvard and France found that people who ate such a diet had a 40% better chance of living past 70 without physical or mental issues. The researchers studied more than 10,000 women over a period of about 15 years. They stayed healthy and didn't have diseases like cancer, stroke, heart disease, and diabetes. The diet consists of foods like vegetables, whole grains, fish, poultry, beans, and olive oil, and less red and processed meats, along with less alcohol. Well, if you want to live longer, you could also add nuts to your diet. The largest study ever done on nuts has found that people who ate them roughly every day were 20% less likely to die than those who didn't. According to the Harvard study, for people who ate nuts 7 or more times a week, the risk of dying from heart disease dropped by 29%, and the risk of dying from cancer fell 11%. The benefits came from peanuts, pistachios, almonds, walnuts, and other tree nuts, and nut eaters stayed slimmer, too. Sounds pretty good to me. Well, that's going to do it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day. God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. all the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.